With John and Gary Pallister, this is the cup final of 1994 underway. Chelsea have the possession until Dennis Irwin over on the far side, the United left, finds touch for the first time. And I would imagine, as we hear the blue flag flying song, every player will try and get an early touch to settle themselves down on what could be a slightly greasy top now. Steve Bruce, the United captain, shows a little edge. Doesn't find his fullback over on the far side. We have a flare over on the track, over on the far side, which has been thrown from the Chelsea supporters. Chelsea throw-in, given away. A little slip there in midfield by Eddie Newton. Another slip by United in midfield as Cantona tries to stretch. Chelsea play it forward. Parker playing in his first cup tie. Final heads the ball out of play.
Already 3 misplaced passes, disturbed by the pace of the pitch. We heard Hoddle before the game saying he didn't want the rain, he thought the pitch was fast enough, a real green top. Now we've got a wet top, and you can expect this ball to really slip off the
ABC News with Barry Eaton. The Aboriginal Legal Service wants 6 Queensland police officers accused of abducting 3 children publicly named and suspended from duty. Sam Watson from the Legal Service says the 3 boys, aged between 12 and 14, were subjected to threats of mutilation before being dumped in an isolated industrial suburb in the early hours of Tuesday morning. Watson says the Criminal Justice Commission has interviewed the children who he says were terrorised.
And that'll be already a caution for Erland Johnsen, the Norwegian.
My thoughts really go to Erland Johnsen. Giggs had decided to set on a run. I'm sure that Alex Ferguson said to him before the game, first opportunity again, young man, go with that ball, really attack the defenders. Johnsen really couldn't get out of the way. He rode the challenge well. It was possibly... He's under pressure, Johnsen, now. I mean, in the first couple of minutes to get booked is a really difficult and a harsh decision for the referee to give. There was no injury. He couldn't really get out of the way of that little bit of cleverness by Giggs.
Well, that must be one of the earliest bookings in a cup final for Erland Johnsen. And now following the free kick, it's with Kanchelskis down the United right. High ball to the far post. Cantona can't get it in the air. Comes out to Keane. His attempted ball in is defended well by the Dane Gelberg. Back again come Manchester United. Wide on the left-hand side once more. Roy Keane, loser here with Forest in the final against Spurs. And has he got a corner? Not quite. Very close to a corner. But David Ellery signals throw into Manchester United. Close to the corner flag over on the far side. This is the United left in the first half of this cup final. 0-0 between Chelsea and Manchester United, but already a booking for Erland Johnsen, the Norwegian. Following the throw-in, Cantona lays it back. Steve Bruce is there, halfway inside the Chelsea half. Played back down the United left. In comes the cross from Cantona. Hughes back to goal. Too many blue men there perhaps for him. Still Hughes. Eventually the defenders get it away from him. Chelsea clear. Not very far. Good play by United. The shot at the end from Pallister from 30 yards. All the way high and wide behind Karin's goal.
Well, some controlled passing then by United in the final third of the field that put Chelsea under a little bit of pressure. Cantona influential in that. But it was Chelsea who fashioned the first chance when they forced their way down the left and played the ball back onto the edge of the box, and then United broke from that. It was a bright start. It's quick, it's pacey.
A goal kick to Chelsea. Dmitry Karin, the Russian international, up against Andrei Kanchelskis, remember, Russian international in the Manchester United side. Here come Chelsea now. Gavin Peacock, the danger man. Good headed clearance though by Steve Bruce. And the clearance effected by Dennis Irwin back inside the Chelsea half, where Jakob Gelberg, who played here with Denmark a month or two ago against England, heads the ball out of play for a Manchester United throw-in. Just inside the Chelsea half. 4 minutes gone in the first half of the cup final. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Still settling down. Steve Bruce will be hoping to lift up that trophy. First Englishman this century to captain a double-winning side. Tries to find Mark Hughes. Now Ince for Manchester United. Good close control. Hughes down the United right. He finds Kanchelskis, faced by the fullback Sinclair. And interestingly as well, Dennis Wise was coming back there just in case. Sinclair found Kanchelskis hard to handle. And the ball is out of play for a Manchester United throw-in. It's a big day for Frank Sinclair because Kanchelskis very much one of the threats to Chelsea down the Manchester United right. Paul Parker with a throw-in. Gets it back from Kanchelskis. Still Parker, tight to the line, near side. Finds Cantona. Cantona lays it back to Keane. Quickly forward now. Giggs trying to shake off Johnson. He's got Sinclair in the way though. And it's out of play for a Manchester United throw-in. 10 yards or so from the corner flag. Near side. Parker arrives to take it. Paul Parker with a Manchester United throw. Finds Kanchelskis. Back again to Parker. Oh, and he couldn't control it. Out of play for a Chelsea throw.
It's so important for Chelsea that Wise and Burley double back quickly at the slightest hint of any superiority on the United wings. Clark should have it all on to contain Giggs, and certainly on this side, although Sinclair is very, very quick, Kanchelskis has been in very good form in the last few weeks. I'm sure he would love to celebrate the signing of an improved contract.
Spencer on the halfway line. Foul by Pallister. Free kick to Chelsea. Rain continues to fall from grey skies here at Wembley. It really isn't cup final weather at all. A free kick to Chelsea to be taken by Johnson, the Norwegian, who will also expect to be here next weekend playing international football for his side against England. Johnson, high ball to the far side, looking for Clark, who'd gone forward. His header trying to find Steen. Haven't had any opportunities yet to mention Mark Steen's name in these opening 5 minutes. Hasn't been able to get in the game yet. Hughes defensively. Across the field, looking for Parker on the edge of the Manchester United area. United play a square ball for Bruce, the captain. Bruce comes forward, unopposed, then hits it to the far side of the field for Dennis Irwin. Irwin brings it down neatly, and now Pallister. This is good play, typical build-up from the back by Manchester United, and then Pallister moves forward well, smoothly, into the Chelsea half, laid off by Hughes, looking for Cantona, and then as Gavin Peacock tries to escape, he's brought down from behind by the man with the goatee beard, Roy Keane, and David Ellery presumably now is giving Roy Keane a last warning.
Yes, I would imagine Roy Keane must be careful. There was a case of Chelsea backpedaling into their own half when United had possession at the back. They could do no other than spread the ball. It was spread out to Irwin back across the field, and eventually Chelsea's patience paid off. There was an interception by Peacock. He raced forward 15 yards, but Keane was determined he wouldn't get away, and he pulled him down from behind.
It's Pallister against Steen over on the far side. It's out of play, and interestingly there, Chelsea try to find Steen with a high ball against Pallister. Well, there's not a lot of future in that tactic here today. They must play it to the little men. They must play it to feet. Now, clearance by United. Could be dangerous, this, as Giggs challenges Johnson. Johnson heads it well to the far side for a Manchester United throw-in, level with the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. Giggs will leave it for Dennis Irwin. Throw to Manchester United, looking now for Hughes to hold it in the area. On that occasion, Cantona it was who laid it off. Doesn't come to anything, but Manchester United still move forward with a bit of purpose. Roy Keane. Near side, the Manchester United right. Parker makes the run, but Keane plays it instead to Hughes. Hughes tried to return the ball to Keane. Sinclair clears for Chelsea. The ball is now loose over on the far side of the field, and Chelsea can now step forward short of the halfway line to take a throw-in.
Yeah, Chelsea anticipating, tackling vigorously, and at the moment they're just a little bit wary of Peacock. When United are attacking, I don't see a plan by Alex Ferguson to actually have a man standing with Peacock. I always thought this might be the key to the game. Ince and Keane are going to play the natural game. When Chelsea get the ball, Peacock's always looking to glide through into spaces. I don't think there's a marker particularly been designated. The nearest man will have to pick him up.
8.5 minutes gone in the cup final. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. The ball is back inside the Manchester United half, and Bruce gets it away. Keane now finds Giggs. Early ball from Giggs across the field. Parker's got it for Manchester United. Looks for Kanchelskis. Wide on this near side. Kanchelskis comes in field. He's caught by Spencer. Referee says play on, and Chelsea do. Long ball by Dennis Wise. Steen heads it down, but only to a man in red. That's Roy Keane, who's covering Akers down there as usual for Manchester United. Keane holds, looks to see what's available, and plays a short ball for Paul Parker down this near side. And again, United happy to keep the possession and wait for the balance to reappear in the side. Long one now from Pallister. Great running by Dennis Irwin down the United left. He's got Clark there to beat. Irwin's got it. He needs a bit of support now over on the far side. Tries to work it back to Paul Ince. Didn't quite get the delivery right. Ince back to the halfway line for Gary Pallister once more. Now Keane just inside the Chelsea half. Back down the left-hand side they go with Dennis Irwin. United getting a good feel of the ball here. Keane against Wise. Wise beats him. Plays it forward. Looks for Steen. Steen down to Chelsea right. Spencer's on the edge of the area. Still Steen. He can't go round a combination of Ince and Pallister, and it's a throw to Chelsea.
Tremendous challenging by Ince there. You felt for a moment Chelsea almost had a 2v2 situation. Spencer was pulling away, but Steen just delayed as he was looking to get an angle for a shot on the right, and Ince came from behind him and robbed him splendidly.
Throwing to Chelsea, back again with Steve Clarke, and up and under from him. That should be headed away by Gary Pallister. No challenge by a Chelsea player. Played in again by Newton. Chelsea camped on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, but now David Ellery's penalised them, and it's a free kick to Manchester United. Schmeichel wants the ball. Gavin Peacock is reluctant to give it to him. 10.5 minutes gone in the cup final. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0.
Yeah, there's a determined team philosophy of Chelsea. They're going to quite happy to concede possession when United get the ball in their own half. They'll drop back, they'll sit back, they'll fill the spaces, and they'll say to United, come and play around us, try and get the ball beyond us. We're going to defend solidly, and we'll take our time.
David Pleat of Luton, our match summariser. We have Alan Hudson and Dennis Law with us as well. We will be hearing from them both in just a moment. The game continues with Manchester United. Bruce down the centre. Kanchelskis gallops forward, but Karin's there first. Throws quickly out for Chelsea. Good throw by Karin. Burley now down the Chelsea right. Clarke is there as well. Burley plays it back to Newton, just inside the Manchester United half. Centre of the field. Newton touches it on to Dennis Wise. Wise back to Burley. Down to Chelsea right, edge of the area. Burley's cross, headed on by Spencer. It was a bit too strong for him though. Spencer chases to the near side, did well to keep it in, but only presents it to Eric Cantona, who sets off from the deep, looking for Hughes on the halfway line. Chelsea tackling well though. Newton is there, covering Cantona as we expected, and Chelsea get it away nicely. Steve Clarke, the Scotsman, over on the far side. Back in the Scottish squad to play Holland. Peacock on the halfway line for Chelsea, attacking the tunnel end in this first half. Still 0-0 in the cup final. Manchester United's turn now to get back behind the ball. Wise, the Chelsea captain, down the far side. Wise hits it and looks for Mark Steen. And now let us hear first of all from Alan Hudson on what he thinks about it so far.
Well, I'd be very happy if I was Glenn Hoddle. I'm quite impressed with the way Chelsea started. They've done very well. They've got to be obviously very careful about pushing up with Manchester United's pace, but they've settled down a lot quicker than United, I think.
That's that. Right, Alan, thank you. Dennis?
Well, I think for the first minute of the game, Chelsea had an opportunity to maybe take the lead, but I must say I have been impressed with Chelsea as well. They've defended well, but they'll have to do that for all the game. They've got to be aware all the time, because you always have the feeling that United are the superior team, and they can break very quick.
Good ball now by Parker, trying to find Kanchelskis, but Jelberg was there in the air when it mattered for Chelsea. Still the danger not cleared yet, and now Steve Clarke for Chelsea holds it neatly, then plays it down the far side to Craig Burley, whose uncle, remember, won an FA Cup with Ipswich. George, back in the late 70s when he wasn't expected to against Arsenal. So could history repeat itself here? Could Chelsea, very much the unfancied side, surprise Manchester United? They've started well. 13 minutes gone in the first half. 0-0. Bruce Price, the ball into the Chelsea half. Can't get the ball over Johnson. Now Wise hits it long. Steen's there on the edge of the area. Spencer's trying to get forward to support. Instead he picks out the Scot Burley. Burley drags it back to Wise, edge of the area. Wise with a right-footed shot, well wide of the target.
First shot of the game by the most influential player so far in the game. Wise is picking a lot up for Chelsea. He's hit one or two good diagonal balls to Steen, who's very good at pulling away, drifts off his marker into that semi-inside right position when Wise is on the left-hand side, and he's got a very accurate right foot, Wise. He can drive that ball across field, and that looks a tactic of Chelsea.
Peter Schmeichel, who missed the League Cup final through suspension, back after injury. I'm sure they're watching this game in his native Denmark. Clears downfield. Hughes holds it. Back to Dennis Irwin, who slides it down the left-hand side to Giggs, who hasn't had many opportunities yet to impose himself. Still United. Hughes chests it off, looking for Cantona. In comes Jelberg, though, and then Steve Clarke runs out of space over on the far side, and it's a throw to Manchester United. Halfway inside the Chelsea half. Still 0-0 in the cup final. Just over 14 minutes gone. Heavy drizzle here at Wembley. Throw to Manchester United. Irwin for Giggs. Giggs gets around Newton. Still Giggs. Edge of the area. Hughes holds. Tries to find it back to Giggs. Spectacular overhead clearance by Dennis Wise for Chelsea. Chelsea trying to catch Manchester United on the counter-attack. The ball is back inside United's half. Pallister neatly to feet. Irwin. Back again to Pallister. Pallister being urged to go back to his goalkeeper by Steve Bruce. Bruce instead has it, and now brings it out of defence and finds Parker near side the United right. Hughes slips on the surface. Keane is there to help him out. And now Parker back to Keane. Keane turns, sees Dennis Wise there, and then wastes the pass, and it's offside, and it's a free kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, we all know Manchester United's shape. I just feel Giggs is roaming a little bit. Of course, wherever he goes, he is dangerous. But I feel that United need to keep the shape early on, keep Giggs out on the left, let Cantona drop off Hughes so that he's able to pick up and try and dictate the pace of the game. It's also important, if they keep the shape, that Cantona doesn't play too far up the field. He can be lazy.
No early threat, though, yet to Dimitri Karin's goal. Manchester United now may pose a threat. Keane inside the Chelsea half. Looks for Kanchelskis near side. The early ball in, it clips Sinclair on the heel and then spins kindly to Karin, who came quickly off his line and holds the ball 7 or 8 yards away from that Chelsea goal. All of those Chelsea fans behind his goal. He looks downfield, looks down towards Peter Schmeichel at the tunnel end, and then rolls the ball out of his area. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Karin goes down the far side, looking to try and find Burley in the air. Headed away by Manchester United. Ince against Peacock in midfield, and then threaded forward by Spencer. Good defending by Pallister. Still Chelsea on the edge of the area. Parker's, though, in very quickly for Manchester United. Knocks it back to Bruce, and Bruce, from about 20 yards, tries to find Hughes on the halfway line, but Johnson beats him well. Two former Bayern Munich players there, Johnson and Hughes. Chelsea posing dangers on the edge of the area, and in the end, well, the cross shot from Frank Sinclair was well wide of the intended target, and it's a goal kick to Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, there's the good and the bad of Sinclair. Terrific pace. He's so far contained Kanchelskis when twice he's sought to get behind him, but when he gets forward, he just hasn't yet got that exact delivery that's required of a top-class fullback. But a very, very good defender. Glenn Hoddle will be more than happy at the moment the way Chelsea are working as a team. They look as though they understand each other's play. They're getting behind the ball early, and when they pick up the ball, they're breaking in numbers.
There's an injury to John Spencer at the moment. Peter Shreves, Glenn Hoddle's assistant, just came to the touchline. No stranger to Wembley occasions, obviously, Peter Shreves with Spurs. John Spencer is all right. Tony Cascarino might have just got a little bit edgy there, thinking he might have been coming on, but Spencer's okay, and now we can have that Manchester United goal kick. Wonderful atmosphere here, as always on Cup final day. 17 and a half minutes gone in the first half. No real chances yet for either side. United have the ball down this near side, with Paul Ince short of the halfway line. Skips in field, always a Chelsea player to beat. Ince again though, up towards Hughes, back again to Ince. This is better from Manchester United, doesn't quite run for them. Ince wins it back again, and a tremendous challenge by Dennis Wise for Chelsea, and they find Peacock wide on the left-hand side. Peacock's ball not well directed towards Spencer. Spencer's caught by Bruce, and now he stays down injured. And Steve Bruce, the captain of Manchester United, is going to join Erland Johnsen in the referee's notebook, I fear, with a yellow card.
Well, it was a fierce tackle. I wondered if it was caused out of frustration. Just before, there was one or two delightful cameos by Ince as he went through. He was eventually challenged and dispossessed, and I think that Bruce was probably very annoyed. He thought that United should have received a free kick. But of course, you've got to take each incident in isolation. And really there, I think that was a booking. He really went in strong on Spencer. Spencer tried to ride the tackle. He was caught in the ankle area. And I think that Bruce really, there's no need to make challenges in the middle third of the field if you're not sure of winning the ball. As long as you're tight, as long as you make them play it back, then everyone's safe and sound and able to cover. But he went to ground, and it was unnecessary.
It results in a free kick to Chelsea just inside the Manchester United half. Near side, as we look at it, the left. The left back, Frank Sinclair, number 6 on his back, is about to take this free kick. Hits it down the centre, looks for Steen, hopeless in the air though against Bruce there, and Bruce wonder header. Still the danger not cleared for Manchester United. Eddie Newton, centre of the midfield. Chelsea looking to get their shape. Newton up towards the area, looking for Spencer to try and spin past the defender. Burley now for Chelsea, being forced out of the area by Dennis Irwin, the fullback, but he turns. Still has the possession by the corner flag. Chips the ball into the area, looking for Spencer. Spencer against Pallister, and it's a corner to Chelsea, is it? Their first of the cup final. A Chelsea corner down the far side, the right-hand side. Dennis Wise is going to take it. Remember what Dennis Wise did here for Wimbledon from a set piece in 1988. The Chelsea captain Wise to take the corner. Johnsen and Jelberg have both gone forward. Peacock lurks on the edge of the area. Here comes the corner kick, headed away imperiously by Steve Bruce to the far side.
I have to say that Spencer's running around like a young colt, and not long after that challenge, it was only seconds ago, but he was very bright there in that move that led to the corner. He's certainly fit, he's certainly well. Bruce will be disappointed he's in the book now.
A throw-in taken by Chelsea. Drizzly afternoon here at Wembley, and escaping with the ball is Burley. Dangerous ball into the near post, looking for Steen. Cleared by Manchester United, defending well inside that penalty area. Giggs given away. Newton now for Chelsea. Whips the ball across the field to Sinclair, a bit loose from the fullback. And Manchester United now looking to try and get out of their own half. Hughes tries to find Giggs, but neatly read by Steve Clarke. Oh, good play by the fullback. And then eventually the ball breaks down the Chelsea right. Peacock hammers it forward. United with plenty of defending to do at the moment. And Irwin and Hughes and Giggs now take the possession down the far side. But Chelsea are battling well in midfield, and it's out of play for United throw. And I must just say thank you to one of our listeners, T. Lewis of Smallheath in Birmingham, who sent both Alan Green and I today to mark the occasion a boomer. Shake it all about, and you get the old tic-tac tape out. Alan's, for some reason, was red and white. Mine was blue and white. So thank you very much indeed. Thanks for your support. And this cup final continues to settle down in the first half. 21 minutes gone. Chelsea have, over on the far side, this is their right-hand side in the first half, they have a throw-in. Steve Clarke to take it. Great support for both sides, as you would expect, and Chelsea are fighting all the way here against the team hoping to make a double today. Newton to this near side. Toe poke down the left-hand side. Sinclair's on the ball for Chelsea. Sinclair tried to work it into the area. Good covering by Keane, but United haven't cleared it. This is a really good spell by Chelsea. Sinclair's dangerous ball into the near post. Steen got there first. Schmeichel didn't get there in time, but it's a goal kick.
Well, Chelsea, I have to say, have settled well now. The first quarter of the game is almost past, and Chelsea have contained United. It's always so important, the first few minutes. To concede a goal changes the whole face of the game. And the Chelsea bench, Glenn Hoddle and Peter Shreve, will be more than happy at the way so far they've contained United. United so far without a clear sight for a shot at goal.
And nearly a quarter of the cup final already gone. Chelsea once more with the ball. Wise hits it too long for Mark Steen. Schmeichel can pick up the possession once more. It's the halfway point in the first half already. It's gone so quickly. And here's Alan Green.
The best team in the country against the only team that's beaten them twice this season. And Chelsea looked the better side on the day so far, but a long way to go. Keane from Manchester United flicks it beyond Kanchelskis, and it goes out of play. United clearly have lost their rhythm at the moment. They're hardly seeing anything of Cantona or Hughes, but then they're not getting a great deal of service. Chelsea thrown by Sinclair to Newton, and then whipped forward by Spencer towards the far side. Burley to Clarke, still inside the Chelsea half, down their right flank. Steen further ahead. It's played infield though towards Spencer, headed back by Keane through to Schmeichel, and Schmeichel gathers at the edge of his penalty area. Now the keeper's had a save to make.
No, Karin's gone low to his right from a ball in, and Schmeichel there may have been embarrassed as Steen shot across for Sinclair's ball towards the near post area. Ellery was right on the spot and gave the goal kick correctly.
Manchester United in their 12th FA Cup final. Attack now, ball played long for Kanchelskis. His first touch took him into the penalty area, and good goalkeeping by Karin. Out very quickly, dived at the feet of the Russian international and clasped the ball. He throws it out quickly, and then Keane's adjudged to have fouled Eddie Newton. It'll be a free kick, and the referee, David Ellery, has already made it plain he's not standing for any nonsense today, either foul tackles nor dissent. So there are a few out there, better be careful.
He's very well respected by the league managers, and I'm quite sure he'll cope with today's game comfortably.
Did he mean that earlier? I think I heard him say he was a neo-fascist. Not saying anything about his politics. I've never heard a referee declare anything like that on the air. Here comes Chelsea. That's a good ball forward. Spencer inside the penalty area. Schmeichel's blocked it, and it's knocked away by Pallister before Steen can score. Burley pulls the ball back into the box. Ince is there, and United survive only just.
Yeah, and there's a calm lacking in United's play.
Here comes Chelsea again. Steen forward into the penalty area. Irwin's across there. Steen, in his anxiety to get to the ball, pulled Irwin down. It's a relieving free kick to Manchester United.
Well, Schmeichel came running out of his goal there, and all of a sudden it looked as though Chelsea would gain an advantage of a great start. but as the ball got played wide, they managed to get back and hold the line and clear the ball. But there's an unease about United at the moment. Keane and Ince, the midfield workers, need to get hold of the ball, and they need to start passing the ball and getting a few touches. Cantona at the moment can't get in the game at all.
25 minutes played in the first half of the cup final. No score between Manchester United and Chelsea. Hughes, who got that crucial equalising goal here in the semi-final, plays it to the near side, but it's behind Kanchelskis. Again, there is no rhythm to United's play as yet. The passing is going astray. Throw in to Chelsea. Sinclair, who's attacking as much as he's defending in these opening 25 or 26 minutes. He takes a throw in, gives it back to Carey, wearing tracksuit bottoms. He likes to, but surely the temperature's not that low. Bunches the ball once and then he just throws it out of the penalty area to gain an extra couple of yards. Everybody's grouped just beyond the halfway line as he strikes the ball, travels from right to left. Good header on by Burley. Peacock challenges the ball. Edge of the United penalty area. Half cleared. Peacock takes it up again. Great shot! It's the crossbar! Schmeichel was beaten. Schmeichel couldn't get to it. And Peacock very, very close to scoring yet again against Manchester United.
It was a marvellous effort. He took it on his chest and he volleyed it with his left foot. And really, United are just rocking a little bit. They desperately need to get hold of the ball. There seems a yard extra in the Chelsea step. And of course the supporters are responding. They probably expected a restrained start, but they're coming for the game.
Here come Chelsea. Clark then tackled midway inside the United half by Giggs of all people. Keane takes it up over the halfway line. Giggs to his left, but he prefers to knock it back into the path of Dennis Irwin. Irwin forward, now wide to the far side again, and Keane. 15 yards inside Chelsea territory, down the United left. Plays it to Cantona. Cantona is tackled and beaten by Newton, and Chelsea bring it away. Then they give it away. That was careless. It's with Pallister. Parker now, down the near side, the Manchester right, to Kanchelskis. He too has been fairly quiet, but he skips away from Sinclair. Faced by Mark Steen now. Decides to cut inside. He's on his wrong foot at the moment. There's a run like that led to a goal in the semi-final replay. He plays a 1-2 with Hughes. Then he's tackled at the end by Keelberg. Ball rebounds to Parker, who totally squanders possession, heading it wildly behind for a goal kick.
Well, Paul Parker squandered a very good opportunity there. And it all came about because of Kanchelskis' invention, trying to go through the middle. Rocked and almost shot by that tremendous shot of Peacock that cannoned off the bar there. United then hit back in style, because Kanchelskis is doing two things. He's looking to take Sinclair and try and extend Chelsea on the outside, but he's also seeking the ball played through the middle. And it was from one of those runs that Karin had his best work of the afternoon so far, when he came out and dived at his feet. But apart from that, United have not been the force that one would expect.
They're very, very shaky. Steve Bruce, the captain, has the ball midway inside his own half. Plays it to the near side, and Parker down the United right. Hit long. Hughes jumps, beaten in the air by Johnson. Chelsea bring it forward, and then the challenge comes in from Roy Keane. The ball's out of play, and it's a Chelsea throw. And I'd be absolutely delighted if I was Glenn Hoddle at the moment. And I wonder if our other guests in the box today, what their thoughts are. We've got Dennis Law, first of all. It's not going United's way, Dan.
It isn't, and I must say that Chelsea are playing extremely well, but you just feel that you're not going to get many chances against Manchester United, and if you don't take them, then you're going to be sorry at the end of the game.
Alan Hudson in a minute, but United on the attack. Kanchelskis plays it in. The header down by Hughes doesn't reach Cantona, and it's cleared by Chelsea. Keane picks it up, 40 yards from goal. Parker up from right back and in space down the right side. Faced by Wise, the Chelsea skipper. He scoops it forward into the penalty area, but it's ahead of Giggs through to Carey. And now, Alan Hudson, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, if you was a complete stranger coming to the country this morning, you'd wonder what's going on. I mean, we've heard all about all the great Manchester United players, but there's a few people got to stand up and be counted now.
Wise plays it forward. It's intercepted, though, by Pallister. And Keane takes it up from Manchester United. Middle of his own half. He's a little slow there. Spencer gets back, and they're all hustling and harrying Chelsea. They're playing very, very well, so well organised. They've got this read absolutely right tactically at the moment. But it's still 0-0 between Manchester United and Chelsea. The clearest chance going almost inevitably, you'd think, to Gavin Peacock. A wonderful left-foot volley hits the crossbar, having beaten Schmeichel.
I think it was a very good point that Dennis has just made, really. I think that United, we always say possession is 9/10 is the law in football, but of course we know it's not. Sometimes you can have possession and you get caught by the expert finishers. in the semi-final. Luton had a lot of possession in the first half, but then Peacock scored the vital goal. And I look at the game now, that one tremendous opportunity, tremendous goal-scoring opportunity that Peacock has contrived, but it's United that's got to come back in this game. So far, Giggs hasn't had much of the ball, Cantona hasn't got into the game. I'm sure that as the game progresses, they're going to have to fashion chances, and they can fashion chances, we know that, so we'll just have to wait and see if they can improve on the start.
Precisely half an hour played in the 1994 Cup Final. Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. Cantona with the ball, comes infield, that deflects over defender, might run to Kanchelskis, but no, it's knocked away by Wise, and here's Gavin Peacock playing deep again. Wise to his right, it's chipped forward instead, but the flag is up for offside against Mark Stein. It'll be a free kick to Manchester United. By the way, a very big and loud hello to all those people listening to us all across the world. Many millions listening on the BBC World Service this afternoon. I'll bet you're lying in a beach somewhere and the sun's blistering you. Well, it's wet and quite miserable at Wembley so far after a very fine morning. But it's a good cup tie, good cup final, and Chelsea are dominating at the moment against the overwhelming favourites, Manchester United. Pallister leaves the ball to Schmeichel, and Schmeichel has no challenge from anyone in blue. Plays it forward to Bruce. Schmeichel was caught by that shot from Peacock. He was standing on the edge of the 6-yard box. It was a marvellous chip from Peacock.
Yeah, he's a very inventive player. You mentioned about the sunny Wembley days that we associate with cup finals, Alan, but in truth, the players will love today. Nice and wet, plenty of oxygen around. They'll enjoy this one.
31 minutes gone, and Chelsea enjoying it more at the moment, even though it remains scoreless. They play it down the far side. Burley is beaten. Giggs has the ball. Infield it goes to Ince. Cantona just pulls away from the defender Jonsson, and it's a great ball from Ince. Marvellous control by Cantona, and then he played it, intended it for Hughes. He hit it well beyond Hughes, and it's through to Carring, but that's the first significant input from the Frenchman.
Yes, United at times from the middle third of the field are tending to play it a little bit longer than I imagine they do on normal occasions. I'm sure Giggs would like more ball to his feet so he can get at Clark and try and force him back. Ince and Keane occasionally are looking for the longer ball, and it's also significant that Cantona is playing quite up front with Hughes rather than dropping off. I would have thought it would help the cause more if he dropped off a little bit to nullify Eddie Newton, who's breaking up attacks.
No, that was a very heavy challenge by Steve Bruce and Mark Stein. He's already been booked, and he quickly got away from where the ball was and where the free kick was to be given, and the referee is happy merely with the free kick. But it's about 25 yards from goal. It's to the right as Chelsea look at it. Dennis Wise is over there, so too is Gavin Peacock. Frank Sinclair comes close. Some aerial threat now from the two central defenders, Kjellberg and Jonsson. They're both lurking on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, and United are watching them very carefully. The free kick is left to Dennis Wise. 32 minutes played. Knocked into the penalty area. Cantona heads it down. Peacock falling. By rebound. Kjellberg shoots, and it's straight at Schmeichel.
Good pressing by Chelsea there from the free kick. We know they're dangerous from free kicks, but they got plenty of bodies up there, and it was another shot from Peacock.
33 minutes played. Here come Manchester United. Ince to the edge of the penalty area. Kanchelskis on his right foot, shoots, it takes a deflection, and it's behind for a rare corner in this opening period of the game to Manchester United.
Well, there was a fast break there, and it seems ebb and flow at the moment from a good block by United at one end after Chelsea had thrown several players forward. It breaks to the other end, and I think Kanchelskis possibly picked the wrong option there. Ince certainly thought he did. He put his arms up in despair in the middle there. There was a good break by United, and they had a chance then. They had players over.
All the threats been from Chelsea, but it's a United corner. Giggs takes it. Bruce jumps. It goes over his head. Falls to Cantona. Edge of the penalty area. Play continues. Cantona infield to Kanchelskis. Chip forward. Bruce is still up at the edge of the penalty area. Half cleared. Pallister knocks it back. Hughes stretches for it, but it's knocked away instead by Burley to the halfway line, and Chelsea relieve the pressure. That Kjellberg shot, if it had gone a yard either side of the goalkeeper, it had to go in.
Yes, and in the end, of course, it went straight to Schmeichel, unfortunately for Chelsea. But I'm quite sure the players will be buoyed by the start. I just feel at times when they are defending Chelsea and the ball's played out, Stein needs to cuddle the ball and hold it a little bit to give them an opportunity to go and join them. But they're playing with great verve.
34 minutes gone in the 113th FA Cup final. Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. Free kick to Chelsea. The right full-back, Clark, takes it. Driven forward. Pallister heads it up in the air and away towards the centre circle. It falls to Keane. And now Ince, but Ince wasn't expecting the pass. Burley is it back. Gives it to Clark. Knocked forward. Spencer heads it down towards Dean. And it's played back to the goalkeeper by Pallister. Schmeichel out before Spencer can challenge. And he clears it towards the halfway line, but straight to those in blue. Wise chips it forward again. Peacock runs with purpose into the penalty area, but Schmeichel out once more, and the ball is his. And again, they're not picking up Peacock, are they, David? They decide to leave him alone, and they're not picking him up. Now Kanchelskis breaks forward for Manchester United down the right side. Faced by Sinclair. Crosses very deep towards the far post. Hughes jumps, doesn't make contact. Kilberg does, heads it down to Burley, and Chelsea should clear.
Kilberg defending very well when balls are crossed into the box. They're both strong, Johnson and Kilberg. They're not the most elegant of players on the ball in possession, but they're certainly strong, and when Kanchelskis has knocked one or two crosses in, they've been there to get it away. They've got a challenge, of course. Hughes and Cantona, both very good in the air.
All the singing is coming from the Chelsea end. That's the way to our right. Chelsea in possession over the halfway line. Newton to Clark on the far side, the Scot. Chip forward to another Scot, Spencer. He heads it up into the air, but it's straight to Keane, and then Keane was slow, and Spencer almost won the ball back, but it's still with Manchester United, albeit just outside their penalty area. Inside the final 10 minutes of the opening half of the Cup final. Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. Parker scoops the ball down the right flank, and no nonsense from Johnson. Straight out of play, throw into United. Keane will take it to Kanchelskis. Back to Keane. Cantona's infield, so too is Parker. Ince is available as well. Ince gets the ball, a few yards over the halfway line. He's tackled but keeps his balance, gets the pass to Parker. Parker's ball forward, easily cleared though, and Chelsea can break forward. Spencer to Steen. Burley's unmarked in the middle. It goes back to Gavin Peacock, down the near side, the Chelsea left. Forward to Spencer, clever little back heel, but too clever, straight to Keane, and United break forward again as Keane finds Kanchelskis. Giggs breaking down the right side. Cantona and Hughes, edge of the penalty area. Giggs now turns infield onto his left foot, scoops across, headed by Cantona, and Carring dives to prevent Hughes putting United in front.
Classic move, a marvellous in-swinging ball from wide on the right by Giggs, beyond everyone. Cantona heads it back across the face of the goal, and there's Carring diving flat out on the 6-yard box to prevent the ball getting to Hughes, who was diving in to score that marvellous first goal. It didn't come.
It really has wakened up. We had hardly a shot of merit in the opening 20 minutes, but significant goal-mouth action since, even though it remains scoreless here between Manchester United and Chelsea. The Chelsea substitutes, by the way, today. One, Tony Cascarino. He would offer a different attacking threat, not that they need it at the moment. And of course, one, Glenn Hoddle. And I think the Chelsea fans would love to see Hoddle in action at some stage, but why does he need his presence now? His side's playing so well. Spencer, 25 yards out, looks up, shoots, but Schmeichel had a long view of that and made a comfortable save. Schmeichel's, though, long clearance was aimed at Kanchelskis, and it went straight out of play, and that's a minor illustration of the disruption of this United performance.
Yes, at the moment they're not smooth. Parker's had opportunities to pass the ball and hasn't passed it too well on the right. Irwin isn't able to join in the game on the left because United haven't constructed in a short passing game, so he can't get forward, and one of the strengths of United is Irwin bursting forward. They've relied on breaks, they've relied on Giggs running cross-field, they've relied on Kanchelskis making breaks through, but so far, obviously, Chelsea didn't read the script. They've defended well, they've played as a group, and they're taking the play to United at every opportunity and pushing people forward.
This isn't the Chelsea that were in such disarray around Christmas, the longest losing sequence in their history. Now they're really threatening the favourites here in the Cup final. 6 minutes to go to half-time, and Chelsea with a corner from the near side. That's their left, and it's made for Dennis Wise and his right foot, and Johnson comes forward, and so does Kilberg. The Scandinavian threat inside that Manchester penalty area. It's played short, the corner, and then back to Wise and knocked into the penalty area. Kilberg jumps in, might drop to Peacock. Peacock seemed to be obstructed by Bruce, and that's certainly a free kick, and this is going to be in a very dangerous position for Manchester United. Just outside the penalty area, right on the edge of the D, and Bruce is flirting with serious trouble.
Well, there's a bad misunderstanding there. I don't know if there's a lack of calling, if it's nerves, but certainly Bruce and Pallister looked as though they were going for the same ball, and in the confusion there was a strong body check there. Peacock, not the most vicious of people, certainly towards referees. He was really annoyed about that. He thought he had a chance. And Wise, who's worked very, very hard in his first half, he's passed the ball well, he's been bright, he's been breezy. Looks to me as though he may be involved in this one. There's two men on the ball, a yard off the ball. They're trying to make sure that Schmeichel doesn't get a sight of the ball, and it might be Wise, is it?
It's going to be Dennis Wise, right foot, headed straight off the left shoulder of Paul Ince, and it rebounds to safety for United outside their penalty away to the left, and Schmeichel slips as he puts the ball over the far touchline. It's another Chelsea throw-in. We've got 5 minutes to go in the first half. Still scoreless. Spencer for Chelsea, down the right side. Good ball infield to Peacock, edge of the penalty area. Knocked by Newton into the box, but ahead of Dennis Wise and behind for a goal kick. And the threat is all coming from Chelsea.
Yeah, and this is the time when Alex Ferguson will just be thinking about his theme for half-time. I wonder what his thoughts are. He may be calm at half-time, he may say we're not smooth enough, we can do better, we can get it together, but at the moment we're not able to use the pace to get behind them. Are we too deep? Are we close enough to Peacock? Because he's threatening when the ball gets up to Steen and Spencer. He's got plenty to think about.
They're very subdued, Manchester United, the champions. It's partly them, it's partly Chelsea. Kanchelskis comes forward now, middle of the Chelsea half. Steps, flicks the ball to the right to Keane. Edge of the penalty area. Tries to get the cross in. It's blocked by Sinclair, but Keane picks it up again. Run forward by Kanchelskis into the box. Is the pass overhit? No, he pulls it back, and he's won a corner, Andre Kanchelskis. Wise was tracking back there and had to be tracking back. Wise has had a terrific first half for Chelsea. The boos, amazingly, are for Ryan Giggs. And things are being thrown from the crowd, totally unnecessary. Giggs corner, left-footed, driven in, towering stretches with his right hand, flicks it away. Bruce might keep it in play, edge of the penalty area. He's won another corner, has Steve Bruce.
Well, there's a physical challenge there. Johnson and Bruce, two real strong centre-backs. They gave a real old-fashioned shoulder charge there.
3 minutes to go in the first half. Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. Cantona will take this corner. Right-footed, drifted in. Bruce jumps, heads it across the face of goal and behind for a goal kick. It's not been the most vibrant first half for Manchester United. It's strange, wasn't it, David? You know, they didn't really play all that well in the League Cup final either. They were completely outthought by Villa. And frankly, though Oldham didn't play well either, to be perfectly honest, and they didn't play in the semi-final here.
No, but I would have thought they have enough experience. They surely have enough experience. And I just feel at this moment they're possibly a bit nervous, maybe of Chelsea's system. The fact that Peacock is lurking a little bit at times behind Ince and also behind Keane. When Manchester United attacking, Keane and Ince are following in and trying to support. Peacock plays cleverly. He plays in a role that leaves him not a complete defender, just lurking out. So he's very quick to join on the counter-attacks. And that is a little problem for United at the moment.
And Peacock closest to scoring in the first half. His left foot volley heading the crossbar. Chelsea attack again. Newton tries to cross. It's knocked away by United. And Hughes, of whom we've seen very, very little in this first half, controls it exceptionally well. Flicks the pass out to the near side, some 50 yards to Parker. Forward to Kanchelskis. Back to Keane. Kanchelskis again down the right side. Sinclair's with him. Kanchelskis is beyond him. Trying to pull the cross in. Oh, it's a terrible cross. And Hughes, in his frustration, falls to his knees and beats the turf inside that penalty area.
A lovely one too by Kanchelskis, forcing his way past Sinclair, and Sinclair falling in the process. A corner's been gained out of it, but once again that epitomises the first half. The final ball of Kanchelskis just wasn't good enough, and there's been times and occasions when the final ball has been weak.
Giggs corner into the penalty area. Good diving header away by Johnson, and it'll run over the near touchline and out of play for a throw-in to Manchester United. Parker to take it, right midway inside the Chelsea half. Throws to Kanchelskis. Cantona ahead of him. It's back instead to Parker. Kanchelskis and Giggs both available. Giggs has the ball, then he's tackled by Spencer. It's out of play, and it's another throw into Manchester United. But Chelsea holding up really well when United do come forward. Parker has this throw, and it's a little nearer than the last one to the edge of the penalty area. Cantona and Kanchelskis are closest, but he throws it back to Steve Bruce. Bruce tees it up, thinks about the cross, then plays it infield to Ince. Ince very quickly tackled by Newton, and Chelsea have the ball. Newton too's had an excellent first half for Chelsea. Then Parker is tackled by Spencer. That's a foul. Parker takes the free kick quickly to Cantona. Keane's away on the far side. Cantona hesitates, is robbed by Spencer. Wise takes it away too. Cantona, complete frustration there. Chelsea just so busy around him, don't give him the time. Played infield by Clark to Sinclair. Forward to Wise, then inches in quickly with a challenge for United. And United need rather more of that. Approaching added time in the first half. Kanchelskis approaching the Chelsea penalty. He gives it to Cantona. An over-elaborate back heel. Just plants the ball behind the goal line for a goal kick.
Yeah, a Gallic touch there by Cantona, but not appreciated, and slightly. The ball is running fast, it's a quick pitch, and just once or twice, the final pass, the vital pass, particularly when they get to the last third, there needs more care being taken. But I would say in this first half, the hustling and the harassing of Newton, Burley, Wise and Peacock, who's dropping back into that area, just as it put Luton in the semi-final off their stride and were unable to get the game going in midfield. They've done it again today in this first half, and they've done it really well.
I saw both league games between these teams, and I've got to say this is by far the best performance from Chelsea in the 3 matches. I mean, United dominated both league games, even though they lost them to Gavin Peacock goals. But 0-0 here, approaching half-time, and Chelsea clearly the better team. Manchester United have a throw-in on the halfway line on the far side. Irwin of the Republic of Ireland to take it. No one seems in a hurry to off from the target. Cantona goes across there. Irwin still hesitates. Now he throws it half-heartedly towards Cantona, easily headed away by Burley and knocked out of play. It's another throw-in to United, another throw-in to Irwin. We're over a minute into added time at the end of this first half. Irwin's throw again careless, straight to Burley. Burley forward to Spencer. Peacock available in the halfway line. It's hit long. That's a marvellous ball to Mark Stein. Edge of the penalty here, inside the box. Bruce is across now, gives him a little nudge, but I think it was fair contact. Bruce gives it back to Schmeichel, and Schmeichel clears upfield to Kanchelskis. Back it goes to Steve Bruce. Near side, the United right flank. Chipped towards the halfway line. Headed down by Newton to Sinclair. Sinclair scoops it over the head of Hughes, then heads it into the United half. Inches waiting for it. That's a good ball along the near touchline. Giggs keeps it in play, but can't find another red shirt. The Blues have it, and then they give it away too. Keane runs into a challenge, avoids the challenge, gets it to Parker.
Cantona played, in my opinion, too far up the field. Chelsea were able to hustle, and United were playing too fast. They needed someone to pass the ball into. We have a free kick for Chelsea on the right-hand side.
A free kick to Chelsea awarded. A foul by Dennis Irwin on John Spencer. The kick is halfway between the touchline and the penalty area. Near side, the right. It's going to be taken by the Chelsea captain, Dennis Wise. It's not high enough. Cleared by Irwin. Still inside the area. But then Bruce whacks it away just as Chelsea were lining up a volley. And the ball goes out of play. And Parker slips. The players really have been having a few problems following this rain, which has been coming down ever since the game started. Chelsea all in royal blue. Throw in halfway inside the Manchester United half down the far side. This is the Chelsea left in the second half of the cup final. Chelsea the better side. Spencer on the edge of the area. Bruce and Keane between them get it away. And Kanchelskis, he's trying to get clear, but he can't. He runs into Erling Jonsson, the Norwegian, and the ball is out of play once more. The ball has spent a lot of time out of play in these early moments of the second half. Sinclair, who was pretty tight for the most part of the first half against Kanchelskis. Chelsea give it away. Hughes, short of the halfway line. Cantona, who needs to step it up. Hughes and Cantona don't really link up again. And once more the ball's out of play. This time it's going to be a Chelsea throw-in. The United fans to the left, Chelsea to the right. Manchester United very subdued in the first half. And now a throw-in to Chelsea. Those are the songs for both sides. Again, the ball is out of play, and the second half really hasn't got going at all yet. David Ellery points towards Schmeichel's goal, and Chelsea have another throw-in, this time inside the Manchester United half. Newton very cool in the first half in midfield. Across it comes now to this near side. Chelsea getting a lot of early possession in the second half, but Clark can't find Stein. Now Giggs needs to really start to get into this game. Irwin looking for Giggs once more down the Manchester United left. It's Giggs against Clark. Wales against Scotland, near side. Giggs can't keep it in. But he's been fouled, has he, by Clark? And David Elliott arrives on the spot, and he says Manchester United have got a free kick, an inch or two in from the touchline, 5 or 6 yards from the corner flag, down this near side, the United left. The free kick to be taken, it looks like Dennis Irwin. Ryan Giggs is there as well. And here it comes. In comes the free kick, United. Fisted away by Karin. Still on the edge of the area. Got good distance, though, did Karin. Retrieved by Roy Keane for Manchester United. Digs it back to Parker. Parker has to be careful not to be caught in possession. Works it across to this near side. Giggs again, darts in field. Shows too much of the ball, though, to Jelberg. And Chelsea clear, they give it away. Cantona, halfway inside the Chelsea half. Looking for Hughes, that was a dangerous ball. Johnson was there first for Chelsea. And it's headed away eventually. Peacock now, heads it on for Wise, inside the centre circle. Wise goes forward for Chelsea. Lays it down the left to Gavin Peacock. Spencer and Steen are waiting. Peacock's ball in, deflected by Keane, and through to Peter Schmeichel, who picks it up. No back pass.
Yeah, the Chelsea supporters there were in full voice, anticipating very optimistically the giving of a free kick by Mr. Ellery, but no question about that ball being intentionally passed back.
Ball downfield, and Jelberg hasn't got it. Cantona immediately closed down, though, by Clark. First real mistake by Jelberg. Giggs slams it in from 25 yards. Straight into Karin's tummy. That was better from Manchester United. Driven in there by Ryan Giggs. And the ball out of play near side for Chelsea throw-in.
Lots of throw-ins in this game. It'd be interesting to have a count on throw-ins. The ball is really zipping towards the touchline areas. If a pass is inches off and you can't get it to feet, then there's a good chance that ball might go into touch. They've got to be accurate. They've got to have a little bit more feel for the ball. There's another one. Just sliding off the field. It needs a defter touch.
The crowd for the Cup final is just under 80,000, 79,634. 5 minutes gone in the second half, still Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Cantona beaten in the air now by Johnson. Norway against France there, played forward by Wise. Lovely running now by Mark Steen. Steen is going to take on Steve Bruce on the edge of the area. He's being forced square, is Steen. Peacock now pounces for Chelsea. Excellent challenge by Parker. Still with Chelsea though, Burley 30 yards out, the shot is too high. And it's a goal kick to Manchester United.
In my opinion, the United front four are playing far too flat with each other. They've got to drop Cantona into midfield. When Ince won that ball on the edge of the box, there was no one within 30 yards, and we looked across the middle of the field. There was Kanchelskis on the right, Cantona in the centre with Hughes, and Giggs wide on the left. They've got to get some depth. They've got to get some players mixing in. You can't just play defenders. You can't just play forwards. You've got to play as a group together, defend together, attack together. Chelsea are doing it better than United.
And Burley slips the ball wide down the Chelsea right. There's quite a bit of room for Steve Clark. He finds Spencer tight to the line. High ball in. Schmeichel goes for it, and Schmeichel gets there before it runs to Steen. And it's a tremendous deep throw by Schmeichel to test Erling Johnson from the angle. Johnson's back pass is safe to Karin. And Karin has a touch. And then a clearance. Oh, and he might have done better with that. That's out of play for another throw-in. And that was a little bit panicky there by the goalkeeper. Chelsea should have held that. That's a throw to Manchester United. Halfway inside the Chelsea half. Hughes waits around the penalty spot. Shepherded there by Johnson. The throw-in is shorter for Cantona. Back now to Irwin. Onto his right foot. Slips in field and then finds Parker. Paul Parker for Manchester United. Higher this time into the area. Cantona, the little flicked header. He got above Newton, but there wasn't enough power in the header, and Karin makes the save.
As a clever little ball by Parker, played in diagonally there to the left-hand side of the box. That might do his confidence good. He didn't pass the ball too well in the first half. He stood that one up nicely. Cantona rose early and headed back across the goal. Karin was very easily able to deal with it.
5 live at the Cup final for the first time. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. And we're 7 minutes into the second half. It's an intriguing game. Very few chances. The nearest to a goal so far, Gavin Peacock. 6 times he's scored in the FA Cup this season. He hit the Manchester United crossbar after 25 minutes. Ball inside the United half. Giggs, though, knocks it on to Hughes. Back again to Giggs, inside the centre circle. Cantona trying to stay onside. I thought Giggs was foul there, trying to go forward. So did Mark Hughes. David Ellery was much closer to it, though, and he allows Chelsea to proceed down below us. The ball now inside the Manchester United half. Played forward by Spencer. Has Steen got the pace against Steve Bruce? Alan Hudson saying that he didn't think Steen was absolutely 100% fit in the first half. He couldn't go past Bruce, but Chelsea still might keep the ball. Now they've given it away. Steen was coming back from an offside position. Flag went up. Referee's happy United have got the ball, and the game can continue. Schmeichel in the penalty area, away to the right. Finds Irwin, near side. United's left. Long and high and hopeless from him. Back inside the Chelsea half. What a waste. That's a goal kick to Chelsea.
Well, I was looking down on the bench a couple of minutes ago, and Alex Ferguson and Brian Kidd were quite animated there. I think there's a little frustration, but I would suggest that the United front players are playing too flat. I think there's got to be more depth. I'll continue to say that. And I also feel the two key factors in the game was going to be whether Cantona could get hold of the ball and express himself, supply the wingers, drag Johnson out of position a little bit and slide those balls inside of full-backs for these flying wingers, Giggs and Kanchelskis. It hasn't happened, and I think it hasn't happened because Cantona has sat too far forward.
So far then, the cup final, defying expectation. 0-0, still. 9 minutes gone in the second half. A Manchester United throw-in, just inside the Chelsea half. Headed on by Giggs, good play. Hughes holds it, then plays it across the field. Parker, plenty of room for him. Kanchelskis offers himself down the right-hand side, gives it back to Parker. Parker now plays it up towards the edge of the area. Not well played, though. Newton was there to gobble it up for Chelsea, and Chelsea are on the halfway line. Slip forward well by Wise. Spencer's there. They're trying to stay onside. Spencer goes forward for Chelsea. Eventually he's blocked. United somehow get it away, but the danger not cleared yet. Chelsea have men forward, looking for a cross now from this near side. It might come now from Steve Clarke. In comes the ball from Clarke. It's away from everybody. But still Chelsea are there. Newton tries a shot, but it comes out of the penalty area almost immediately. That wasn't a good ball in there by Steve Clarke when it mattered. If he could have found a bit more accuracy, then Manchester United might have been struggling all the way. It's a throw-in now to Manchester United.
Ince and Keane looking round at colleagues, particularly Paul Ince, and saying, come on, we want people available to pass the ball to, and winning balls on the edge of the box. I want one or two alternatives to give it to. Where are you? You're too far up the field. Come and join us.
Already 10 minutes into the second half, and it's still 0-0 in the cup final between Chelsea and Manchester United. Remember, we have Alan Hudson and Dennis Law with us today, and we'll be bringing them both in again in just a moment. Throw to Chelsea. They don't get very far from that one, and Paul Ince now slides it down the United right. Parker lays it off early for Kanchelskis. Back again to Parker on the halfway line, playing from right to left. Parker's ball chested on by Hughes on the edge of the area. Defenders are playing well for Chelsea, the two centre-backs, and Kjellberg, the Dane, has got that out of play once more. Across the far side, Manchester United getting plenty of support, flag-waving red and white fans over on that far side. But the team are not playing well still. Parker holds it, lays it in field. Cantona with a rare touch. High ball into the area. Giggs heads it on, but Karin's there. And the ball out of the Chelsea area immediately. Chelsea looking to try and get back downfield as quickly as they can. A good break by Steve Clarke. Ince is trying to hold him up on the halfway line, and then eventually it's out of play. So, Alan Hudson, give us your latest thoughts.
Obviously, Chelsea are very much on top, and I think they look so much fresher. I'm looking at the Manchester United players now, and their heads have dropped a bit. They're looking a bit tired, especially at the back. I don't know if it's a long, hard season for them, but Chelsea are looking like they can go all the way here.
Well, the FA Cup final is always a very emotionally training experience as well as physically. And Manchester United are not up for it at the moment. Chelsea are playing better, but keen for Manchester United. Doesn't want to finish a loser here today like he did with Forest. Ince for United, trying to drive them forward from midfield. Foul by Peacock. Free kick to Manchester United now. This could be interesting. 30 yards away from Karin's goal. Dennis Irwin's immediately there. Scored so many vital goals from free kicks. At the moment, Irwin is all on his own. Chelsea are forming up a little wall of three. David Ellery pushes them back. 12 and a half minutes gone in the second half. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. But now a moment for Dimitri Karin and Chelsea, perhaps, as Dennis Irwin thumps it in with his right foot, and Karin's there by the near post to make the save. Dennis Law, how concerned are you for Manchester United?
I would disagree with Mr. Hudson, actually. I thought that there's been a slight improvement of Manchester United, but still not playing particularly well, and still Chelsea have been the better side. It's so difficult, you get into the way that you play. It's very difficult to change how you're playing, but United have not played, and I agree with David as well that the front four are playing far too square. They're not helping Ince and Keane whatsoever, and Cantona has certainly not been in the game at all.
United, remember, with Brian McClare and Lee Sharp on the bench. Throw in to them, near side of the field. Playing perhaps marginally better in the second half, but still not cutting through. Chelsea got everybody back now as United try and build down this near side. They're challenging superbly though, Chelsea. Ball across the field now. It runs away on the surface from Parker. Parker against Sinclair. Spins wide now for Kanchelskis. The early one in from him. Gyelbo doesn't get it, but he's helped out. And Manchester United get it back again. Encouraged by that, perhaps. Keane, centre of the midfield. Across the field to Parker, who's getting quite a bit of the ball at the moment. Parker now for Cantona. Cantona holds it. Still lovely flick from Cantona. Ince, tackled well by Wise, edge of the area. But now Manchester United showing a little bit more. Once again, Parker down the right-hand side. Plays it up towards Cantona. Cantona tried to whip in the early one. Newton's there to clear, but this is better from Manchester United now. And their supporters sense it. Keane holds in the midfield. Back again to Irwin, spending a lot of time inside the Chelsea half. Giggs back to goal, trying to turn. Now Giggs facing the right way, edge of the area, onto Irwin. Irwin fouled inside the area. And is it a penalty? It's a penalty. Newton's challenge has been penalised inside the area. The foul on Dennis Irwin. Eddie Newton holds his head. And it's going to be a penalty to Manchester United. Ryan Giggs, first of all, will receive attention from the physiotherapist Jim McGregor. Eric Cantona holds the ball. What a moment in the life of Eric Cantona. A penalty kick for Manchester United in the cup final. Chelsea have had the upper hand. It's 0-0, but now Cantona can take United near to the double. Ryan Giggs is all right. It's going to be France against Norway. Dennis Wise is trying to speak to Eric Cantona. Cantona doesn't want to know. He needs to concentrate. The PFA Player of the Year can give Manchester United the upper hand here. It's Cantona against Karin. What a moment here at Wembley. The double could rest on this. Cantona places the ball. David Ellery pushes all the Chelsea players out of the area. Here he comes. Monsieur Cantona against Karin, and it's a goal for Manchester United. Cantona keeps his cool. The Manchester United players jump all over him. I don't know what the French is for double, but it could be the double for Manchester United now, and Cantona might have done it for them. Manchester United 1, Chelsea 0. It's a bit unkind for Chelsea, but United have the lead. And could they have a place in history?
And immediately that goal was scored. Hoddle gestured to the Chelsea players with his hand above his chin. Come on, lads, keep your heads up. That's an unkind twist. I have to say United are just beginning to turn a little bit a screw on Chelsea. They're beginning to pass the ball a little bit. Parker was becoming into the game. Irwin was getting more of the ball. But it was a strange break that they got. It was Giggs' persistence against Clark in the first place. And then, as Irwin nicked it past Newton, there was no question he played the ball first. Mr. Ellery was right on top of it to give the decision. And Cantona was as cool as ever.
On the hour, Manchester United 1, Chelsea 0. Despite all the Chelsea pressure, I have to say that we've been hinting at this through the commentary, especially Dennis, with his contributions, that Chelsea might just have feared it could be one of those days. Despite the possession they were getting, Manchester United have taken the lead, a little bit like what happened to Luton and David Pleat in the semi-final. But there is still plenty of time for Chelsea to come back, and they've won a free kick inside the Manchester United half. Eddie Newton's challenge in the area on Dennis Irwin, penalised by David Ellery, and now it's all United away to the left. But Chelsea move downfield to take this free kick. Dennis Wise is there, 10 yards inside the United half. Wise chips in the free kick, away by Ince. Newton, edge of the area, left-footed strike is charged down by Keane. Now United on the break. Cantona for Kanchelskis down the far side. Hughes is going forward. Chelsea could be stretched. Oh, and a poor ball by Cantona. But Giggs might still play it in. Oh no, Kanchelskis' ball there was not a good one. Still there might have been an option for Giggs down the left-hand side, but he couldn't get there in time, and it's going to be out of play for Chelsea.
Two consecutive wildly hit balls there. The first one beyond Karin as Karin chased it across its box. It flew wide to the left. Giggs returned it also over the top. I saw the actions on the United bench as Kanchelskis broke in the first pace. That was the classic United break. A 4v2. Too much pace for Chelsea, but they wasted it. A marvellous opportunity. It seems to me as though someone's reminded them they're playing for the memory of Samat, they're playing for the double, and all of a sudden there's an upping of the pace about United, something we hadn't seen previously.
And now they might breathe a little more easily, Manchester United, with that 1-0 lead. We've played 19 minutes of the second half. Cantona's got one goal. He's going forward for them inside the Chelsea half. Still Cantona slips it forward, looking for Kanchelskis. And the referee says to Cantona, pull your stocking up. His stockings are down. That's not allowed by FIFA. David Ellery reminds him of that. And Chelsea now work it down the far side. Mark Stein for Chelsea. Peacock is waiting. Stein goes round Bruce. Danger for United. In comes the cross. And it's too high for Burley. And it's going to be a throw into Manchester United. Well, Dennis Law, what about it now?
Well, I just thought there was been a slight improvement in the second half. Mind you, that wouldn't have been too difficult the way that United played in the first half. But I think now that a cruel blow for Chelsea, considering the penalty, but it was definitely a penalty. And I think with United one up, I don't think there's any doubt now.
Now Hughes, and it's missed out by Sinclair. Kanchelskis goes forward. Sinclair's bundled him over. It could be another penalty, and it is another penalty. The ball was played forward by Hughes to Kanchelskis. Sinclair has bundled over Kanchelskis inside the penalty area. And Manchester United can make certain now, surely, it could be not only a double for Manchester United, it could be a double for Eric Cantona. Dennis Wise is protesting. Well, Andriy Kanchelskis, the last time he came to Wembley, remember in the League Cup final, was sent off for handball. He's now been brought down in the area. And what about this now? Eric Cantona with a second penalty for Manchester United. If he scores, then it must be Manchester United going into the elite company with Tottenham, Arsenal and Liverpool. The fourth team this century only to do the elusive double. Everybody waits. Chelsea are still protesting. David Ellery pushes them out of the area. It's Cantona against Karin. Here he comes, a little jog, and another goal! It must be a double for Manchester United. It's a double penalty strike by Eric Cantona. Manchester United 2, Chelsea 0. And what a moment for Manchester United. What a moment for them to honour the name of Sir Matt Busby. They now lead 2-0. And surely now they can't be overhauled. They must have their moment in history now.
Well, football can be a cruel theatre, and it's never been better illustrated. Two penalties within a few minutes, the second of which the referee looked at the linesman, Mr. Razor. He looked long and hard at him. It was Mr. Barber, the linesman on the far side. The linesman certainly didn't put his flag across his chest to signal a penalty. Mr. Ellery made it clear to the disputing Chelsea players, I gave it. I didn't need confirmation from the linesman. I'm happy that he cut across his path and he blocked his movement to goal. I think it was a harsh decision. Hoddle's come on by the looks of it, and it'll be a last gasp chance now for Chelsea to try and take the game. It's Burley that's come off.
Now they're 2-0 down. Eric Cantona has just got put on a shin pad to the referee's satisfaction. He rejoins the action. Mark Stein, by the way, was booked for protesting. That happening in the same breath as Hoddle came on as substitute for Burley. So have Chelsea got anything left? What can Hoddle inspire out there? Chelsea have conceded a free kick, have they? Yes, and a free kick for some pushing by Spencer. And all looking so bad for Manchester United. And then just that little spell, David, of 5 or 6 minutes when they seemed to lift it and Chelsea were just knocking it away anywhere and kept giving the ball back to the men in red shirts.
What? Oh, there's another chance.
Another chance here after the penalty area. Hughes can finish it, and Hughes has scored the third for Manchester United. The double is there. There is no question. The first goal from open play. 2 penalties from Cantona. The right foot shot from Mark Hughes. 22 minutes left. We hardly need them. The double is going to Old Trafford. It's Manchester Manchester United 3, Chelsea 0.
Well, we said it could be a cruel theatre, and poor old Sinclair, the left back, he's made one or two dramatic mistakes that have been punished in the last few minutes. There was Hughes flying through on the right-hand side of the box. Sinclair fell as Hughes took the ball on, and he played the ball in the only corner that he could see, right in the far side. Karin's despairing dive. It looks over. United may have that conclusive, decisive victory that the majority of people before the game may have thought possible. They haven't played well. They're 3-0 in front, and Hughes and away again.
Cantona through. Gilbert can't catch him. Cantona into the penalty area. There's the hat-trick. No, he hits it into the side netting. It should have been 4.
Well, the game opened up very early in this second half. We didn't know what was coming. We've all been shocked by the events, but there could have been a fourth goal quite easily. Chelsea have got to plug away. 3-0 is such a hopeless situation sometimes in a football match when you're playing very talented players. What do? Do you push on more, try and get some respectability out the result? What do? They were caught absolutely bare there at the back. Cantona flew through the middle and had a great chance and hit the side netting. It could have been 4.
We could be looking at the record book soon, I think. Chelsea now so dispirited. And our two guests, Alan Hudson and Dennis Law. I mean, if there's anything I hate more than a smug Englishman, it's a smug Scot. Dennis.
I feel so sorry for Chelsea, to tell you the truth. I thought they played so well.
Kanchelskis plays the ball inside that Chelsea penalty area again, but Hoddle is there, and Hoddle is cool and needs to be, and he sets his side moving forward to the halfway line. Then Wise, who's had a great game now, looks tired suddenly, but Hoddle has the ball once more for Chelsea, plays it to the left. Gavin Peacock, who could have put them in front in the first half with a great left foot volley up off the crossbar. Peacock comes forward, he's run 40 yards, he crosses it into the penalty area, but it's behind Steen and is running away towards the near side. There's a massive blue flare that's been set off away to our right, and now the smoke, once the flare's been blown out, the smoke is absolutely awful. That will obscure the vision of many Chelsea fans away to our right, and frankly at 3-0, Alan Hudson, I don't think they'll mind too much at the moment.
Well, I can only think that Chelsea got themselves to blame, really. I mean, they went 1-0 down, obviously through the penalty, and then they threw everything out the window, left themselves 1 against 1 for the next penalty. If they'd have just kept their composure, they had half an hour to go, and they seemed to throw the game away.
Now, Johnson has just fouled Mark Hughes. Hughes is clutching his face, and if the referee sees that as a deliberate elbow, then Johnson's going to be in big trouble. He was booked after just 90 seconds. Hughes went down as if he was completely poleaxed. Now he's being pulled to his feet, and Erling Johnson may be saying terribly sorry, or he might be saying get up on your feet. Either way, it didn't look that clever for a moment. We've got 18 minutes left for play, and frankly the cup final's over, isn't it? Manchester United 3, Chelsea 0. The Reds are celebrating, the Blues are in the blue. Giggs down the near side, forward it goes to Cantona. He's hardly had a kick the whole game, and he scored twice, albeit from a penalty spot. Now he comes forward away from a challenge, plays it into Hughes, the other goal scorer. The back heel is for Ince, but that was too clever a party trick, straight through to Carine, and Carine clears to the halfway line. Pallister heads it back. There are 3 Manchester United players offside. It's a free kick to Chelsea.
Well, Cantona has become an influential character. Amazingly, I felt he looked lazy in the first half. He played too far up the field. He looked heavy and hippie. But we know he's got the touch of a Brazilian. He's got the passion of the French. And in the last 20 minutes or so, he's produced the heart of the English. But certainly now he could be here, maybe on a hat-trick. He has a great chance. The more Chelsea push forward, the more things open up.
Well, it may be his first FA Cup final, but remember, he did get a hat-trick here at Wembley, playing for Leeds United. It seems such a long time ago, in a marvellous 5-4 game in the Charity Shield. But what about a hat-trick in an FA Cup final? That beckons for Cantona. Kanchelskis on the far side, slips again on this greasy surface, nevertheless plays the ball forward to Keane. Back it goes to Parker. Infield to Ince. United clearly rampant now. Totally different side to the one that Chelsea dominated in the first half of this cup final. Ince forward to Hughes, who comes away from Sinclair, gives it back to Parker again. On the halfway line, Bruce The cheers come up from the United fans. Good turn by Ince. Infield to Kanchelskis. Keane's down the right side, but the flag is up for offside against Roy Keane. A free kick to Chelsea, who can't get it going, but that's a good free kick. Hit by Johnson to Hoddle. Lovely chip pass from Hoddle. Picks out Mark Steen down the left side. Doesn't control it with his first touch. Now he has the ball to his feet. Back it goes to Wise. Edge of the penalty area. Left side. Chips it. Peacock with a header. Great save by Schmeichel.
Well run, Peacock. Good play, Chelsea. Started by the manager with a fine ball deep out to Steen. The Olays were just beginning to sound. 15 minutes too early.
Corner on the far side to Chelsea. Wise to take it. Plays it short to Spencer. Out to Wise again. Few yards to the left of the penalty area. That's a good ball to Hoddle inside the penalty area. Hoddle trying to dazzle Ince, but Ince is watching the ball, and Ince takes it away from the Chelsea player manager and chips to safety. It's a good ball too. Picking out Giggs down the right side. Now Giggs will taunt Peacock. Moves infield. Then spreads it wide to Kanchelskis. Only Cantona up around the penalty area. Kanchelskis faced by Sinclair. Turns inside. What was he thinking of? He must be colourblind. He hit it straight to the defender, and Chelsea have a way and bring it clear towards the halfway line. It's so open now, it has to be. United have scored 3 times. What hope have Chelsea got? They've got to make it all out attack. A quarter of an hour left for play in the 1994 Cup final. Clark comes in field from the right back position, gives it to Wise, 30 yards from goal, moving towards the right side, trying to flick the cross in, just waits, no room there. Now he plays it onto his left foot. That's a good deep cross. The jump was by Hoddle. He didn't make contact with his head, and United should clear. Cantona controls it on the far side. Johnson stretches and dabs the ball out of play. It's a throw-in to Manchester United.
Chelsea worked so hard in the first half, not only to contain United, but to enjoy the lion's share of possession. And I feel now, just looking at them, apart from being slightly dispirited up front, they look tired. Obviously, goals causes a spring in the step, and if you lose goals, it does dishearten you a little bit. And as the diminutive little forwards now, Spencer and Steen, really look on their own up front.
Great crossfield pass by Cantona to Keane. Infield to Hughes. Giggs. Hughes runs again into the penalty area. It's well read though by Clark, and Clark picks out Hoddle. And since he's come on, Hoddle, there's a lot of room out there in that midfield, but he's making a lot of room.
Yeah, Steen's got to go now. He's done very well. He hasn't played many games in the last few weeks, hardly at all, and it's very tough for him coming into the last few minutes of the cup final. We can expect Cascarino. He's stripped on the bench. Whether it will change things at all, I doubt.
Mark Steen maybe playing his final touch in this cup final. Infield it goes to Hoddle. Hoddle doesn't control it. It's knocked away by Owen, and then Chelsea win it back. Newton to Peacock. Edge of the penalty onto his left foot. He's smothered out of that shot though, and it's cleared away on the far side by Steve Bruce. And now United counter-attack. Cantona with Kanchelskis down the right side, and the Russian international has the ball now. Now Cantona's all movement. Gets the ball again. Back to Kanchelskis. There's the cross deep into the penalty area. Giggs will jump, but it's headed away by Clark. And Hoddle can pick it up right side of his own penalty area, deep inside his own half. Just dinks the pass forward, and Wise has got a lot of room. Steen sprints down the right side, and it's played for Mark Steen. Pallister's across, gets there first, and plays it simply back to Peter Schmeichel. It's amazing to think that Schmeichel was nowhere near that shot from Gavin Peacock in the first half. Seems an age ago when Peacock's volley struck the crossbar at a time when it was all Chelsea. But now it's all Manchester United. Those red shirts and white shorts out there. Great traditional strip. And what a tradition they're going to set at Old Trafford now this afternoon. They're heading for the double, only the 4th team in the modern era. Spurs the first in 1961, then Arsenal 10 years later, Liverpool in 86, and Liverpool might have won it 3 times in 4 years. United have to think of 57 when they were cruelly robbed by an injury to their goalkeeper that set Villa on the way to the FA Cup, when United, the Busby Babes, had already clearly won the championship by Easter. But it's working out right for them now this afternoon. Chelsea with a final throw of the dice. Cascarino will come on and Steen will come off, and clearly at least a different threat posed to the United defence.
Yeah, Steen's run well and Spencer ran well, particularly in the first half.
Wise plays the ball to Clark, who's come in field from the right back spot. Now Hoddle to the far side, and Sinclair involved in 2 of the United goals. One a penalty, one a slip. United took full advantage. Here come Chelsea, and then it breaks down as the pass from Peacock was played behind Cascarino. Keane comes forward from Manchester United to Hughes, who's also so much more heavily involved in the play now. Hughes finds Giggs. Giggs hits it long. Cantona is waiting for it to drop towards him, but it drops over his head and out of play on the far side of the field. Cantona claims that Sinclair was pushing him in the back. Oh, Sinclair's had enough today, really.
Yes, I think Sinclair's had enough. If I can look at a turning point, I think it was the persistence and paciness of Kanchelskis on the Chelsea left-hand side, which began to worry Sinclair, and I felt that Chelsea in the end lost the energy to cover that position.
11 minutes to go. Cascarino to Wise. Hoddle comes forward. Wise turns away from his manager, comes towards the near side, the Chelsea right. Clark up from full-back now, edge of the penalty area. The pass is chipped towards Peacock. That was a great move. Spencer shoots and it's just wide. That was terrific football from Chelsea. That was well planned. Wise with the ball in. Peacock tried to chest it into the path of Clark and it almost came off.
Yes, that was Chelsea at their best. They move smooth. They run very well off each other in the box. It was a nice little flick by Peacock. Spencer followed in.
Not close enough. 3-0 to Manchester United. 10 minutes left at Wembley. Wise over the halfway line. Hughes jumps at him and Keane makes sure. Two rather crude challenges. One Welsh, one Irish. The result is a free kick to Chelsea.
I think McClare was up on the bench looking to come on a couple of minutes ago, and I'm not sure if it was Kanchelskis they were trying to signal over to this side as though to say, you've done enough, come on, give McClare a chance. But I have to tell you, McClare has gone and sat down, so obviously Kanchelskis doesn't understand the English for leaving Wembley when you're 3-0 up.
Why should he? Why should he in such circumstances? But I think Brad McClare will come on. He's got his tracksuit off. He's sitting down, albeit alongside Jimmy McGregor. But 9 minutes are left for play, and McClare, I'm sure, will make some entry. His goalkeeper, Peter Schmeichel, has the ball inside the United penalty area to our right. The Chelsea fans behind Schmeichel's goal, and they're largely silent now. It's gone all against them. It turned on two penalties just around the hour mark. Newton's foul on Irwin, that was Cantona's first penalty, and then Sinclair's foul on Kanchelskis, that was less clear, but another penalty struck by Cantona, and Hughes got the third on 69 minutes. Manchester United 3, Chelsea 0. Suddenly the Chelsea fans are singing, keep that blue flag flying high. The team come forward. Spencer, middle of the United half. Good ball to the near side, and Clark, he's got far too much room. United defending. Clark, oh, poor cross from the Scot. Behind Schmeichel's goal kick.
Yeah, the Chelsea supporters are still in good boys. They're still calling their team forward, trying to will them to get a goal, to bring a sense of respectability and fairness, of course, to the scoreline. But no one's leaving, everyone's staying. It's been a great day for Chelsea to reach a cup final after so many years. It's been a wet day. At times the quality of the passing and the crossing has been lacking a little bit, but United have had just that little bit of extra, that pace and that thrust to score goals.
A mistake on the far side by Sinclair. Kanchelskis might keep the ball in play. Well, it's a long way off from where we are, and the linesman was only a couple of yards from the incident. He says that it's a throw-in to Chelsea, but Sinclair survives. Sinclair now throws the ball to Johnson, who steps away from the challenge of Ince, deep inside his own half. Forward to Wise. The game is so open now. United know that it's won. Chelsea can only think of a miracle, and it's not going to happen. 8 minutes left for play in the 113th FA Cup final. The trophy will be Manchester United's. The double will be Manchester United's. Hoddle for Chelsea. Infield to Wise. Peacock forward, but Wise shoots rather optimistically from some 25 yards. It bounced awkwardly in front of Schmeichel, but he's confident too now and clasped the ball to his chest. Schmeichel waits while players move upfield, and then he throws the ball. Look at the length of that throw from Schmeichel straight to Cantona on the halfway line.
I've just looked down on the bench again, Alan, and I've just caught the manager smiling, Alex Ferguson. He's smiling. He's smiling. He's thrilled. He's taken his tracksuit off. He's got his jacket and his trousers back on, and he's left the bench to get changed, and he's all ready, and it's like a Sunday afternoon out.
Well, it's a fabulous record he's got. You know, appointed in November 1986, and you think to 1990 in this same venue, this same situation, an FA Cup final, that cup run for United. If he had lost any one of those games, the word was that he was going to get the sack. He didn't get the sack. United won the cup, and since that cup win, Well, it's just success after success. Cup Winners' Cup, a League Cup final, a League Cup win, 2 Premiership titles, another League Cup final, and now the FA Cup final again, and they double the climax at all.
They kept faith because they knew what a hard worker he was, and they knew what he was doing to the youth system and the reserves at Old Trafford. He's built another dynasty there. Sir Matt Busby would be proud of this lot. They've done so well, and they're worthy of the name Manchester United.
6 minutes left for play at Wembley, and United are stroking the ball around now inside their own half. Then Irwin to Cantona on the halfway line. Back to Irwin. Cantona once more. Giggs rushes down the left. Cantona ignores him. Plays it back to the left back, Irwin. Now Cantona's free down the left side, but the flag is up for offside, and it will be a free kick to Chelsea. And Cantona's now enjoying himself, but he was hardly seen for 60 minutes.
No, I mean, we said, and Dennis agreed, they were too square, they were too flat up front, and now we can see a couple of changes. Leclerc and Sharp will both get the enjoyment of playing the final minutes of a double winning side.
Well, I get the feeling at 3-0, what Alex Ferguson is really saying, this is my squad. It's not just a team of 11 players. It's been a marvellous squad that he's assembled at Old Trafford, and he's letting them all breathe in these final moments. There's great success for the club. Leclerc goes to the right side in midfield. Sharp goes to left back. That was his position when he came from Torquay. And he's having to defend now as Chelsea have a free kick. 35 yards from goal. Wise standing over the ball. Cascarino an obvious target. Kjellberg up from defence as well, as is Jonsson. Peacock moves forward, leaves the free kick to Wise, scooped into the penalty area towards Spencer. It's met by Keane and goes behind for a corner to Chelsea. We're inside the final 4 minutes of the FA Cup final at Wembley. The ribbons will be red and white on that trophy. They'll wait till the last minute before tying them on. Chelsea can't do anything about it. Wise takes the corner. Jonsson jumped and it came off the Norwegian and goes behind harmlessly in the end for a goal kick. One of the Manchester United players is injured there. I'm not sure whether it's Pallister. I think it is Gary Pap. No, it's not Pallister. Neither Bruce nor Pallister involved, but immediately Jimmy McGregor rushes on. And I'm looking to see it's Roy Keane. How did I miss his beard? But Keane is going to receive treatment from Jimmy McGregor. I don't think it's too serious, at least I hope it's not too serious, I'm sure it isn't.
And everything else, there's something in the game I don't like, but Manchester United obviously had their name written on the cup because they haven't really played particularly well.
And Dennis?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me, Jimmy?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Dennis.
Right. Well, I feel a bit sorry for Chelsea, particularly the way that they played in the first half. United didn't play at all, and when Cantona's first penalty, and I honestly thought then that the game was over. I couldn't see Chelsea coming back, and then the second penalty was an absolute killer.
They attack now inside the penalty area. Wise can score. Oh, he's hit it wide. It was a great chance for Dennis Wise, but it would have been mere consolation. With only 3 minutes left for play, Chelsea can't score. They're losing to Manchester United by 3 goals to 0. Incidentally, John Inverell pointed out to me there was a lovely scene when Kanchelskis came off the field, diver or not for the penalty. He immediately went to the area with all the disabled people sitting on by the near touchline and shook hands with every one of them. Schmeichel's goal kick reaches the halfway line and United have the ball. Cantona near side, infield to Ince. Back it goes to Cantona. Can he get this hat-trick? The last FA Cup final hat-trick, one of the great finals of all time, 1953. Blackpool and Bolton, Stan Mortensen. But Cantona's not getting one here, or he's only got 2 minutes left to claim the third goal. The first 2 of them, of course, penalty kicks. Chelsea have got to throw in on the far side. Sinclair throws to Jonsson. We're merely playing out time now. Jonsson, infield to Newton, inside the centre circle, approaching the halfway line. Kicks out Clark down the near side. United don't have to do anything more. Chelsea play it forward. Good header down by Cascarino to Hoddle. Hoddle wide to the far side, but the pass skips off this greasy surface away from Sinclair and out of play for a throw-in to Manchester United. It'll be left to Paul Parker to take on the far side. The Chelsea fans standing but silent. No one seems to sit down at Wembley despite the fact that there are seats. Strange, David. They just want to stand and be more vocally involved. Their side come forward now, but Keane takes it away from Chelsea. And Keane breaks towards the near side. Giggs is wide down the left. Giggs has the ball. McClare's infield, and McClare has it now, knocks it quickly out to Keane on the near side, just a yardage from the touchline. Back it goes to Sharp. We're approaching full time at Wembley, just seconds left of the 90 minutes. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 3, and now we are into added time. It's United's double, there's no question about that. Sharp, back to Pallister. Infield it goes to Bruce, the captain. Forward over the halfway line to Ince. Bruce still scurrying forward. Keane is the ball. Bruce needs to stay onside. Oh, Keane squanders possession, hits it straight to Kilberg, and Kilberg forward to Cascarino. Over the halfway line, there can't be long left now. It's played wide to the near side, and Wise, who might have scored for Chelsea. He's thinking of 6 years ago when it was victory. Today it's defeat. Why still going forward, looking for a goal. It's inside the penalty area. Cascarino shoots, and it's fumbled behind in the end by Schmeichel, behind for a corner.
Well, I would say that was the fourth good chance of the game for Chelsea. Peacock, who was invention by himself in the first half, and in the second half, Spencer a half chance, Wise a chance, and then Cascarino. There's an old cliche, it only takes a second to score a goal. The penalty was the second.
Wise with the corner towards the near post. Ince jumps, heads it away. Headed further away by Lee Sharp, and then it's picked up by Chelsea again. Edge of the United penalty area. Cascarino crosses deep, and Keane heads it clear, and it's going to run behind for another corner. United have taken a foot off the gas. They've done enough, and they know it.
Yeah, they got Pallister limping, they got Bruce going on upfield surges. They're just waiting now. Harsh for Chelsea, slightly unfair. They've got a corner.
Peacock takes it, right-footed to the edge of the United penalty area. It's headed away. The referee's already had a couple of looks at his watch, David Ellery. We're on the verge of history for Old Trafford. A double finally going to Manchester United, who may have won it in 57 and didn't win it. The Busby Babes, such a great team. The double eluded them twice. Here come United again, or Chelsea again, moving forward towards the Manchester penalty area. Good cross in. Cascarino heads it down. Spencer shoots, and it's another good save by Schmeichel. They can't beat him now. Can't beat him now. That's 3 or 4 chances they've had in the last 10 minutes. Corner again to Chelsea. Wise takes it quickly, almost fooling the referee. Gives it to Hoddle. Back to Wise. The cross is low and scooped away by Parker. And away to Cantona. Now United counter-attack. Cantona infield to Hughes. Is there a fourth goal? Ince is through. Ince is onside. This is the fourth, is it? Around carrying. He must score. He taps it back, and it's knocked in the end by Brad McClare. McClare gets the fourth goal. Deep into added time. Reward for him. Great reward. A flattering reward for Manchester United. Salute the champions. They're also the cup winners. They've won the double.
Marvellous play by Ince. An unselfish play. He timed his run. Chelsea have been the victim a couple of times this half in pushing out without care. Mr. Barber's flag has stayed down, and United have contrived to have 1 or 2 clear goal-scoring opportunities because of the way that Chelsea have left themselves bare at the back door. Chelsea will point, I'm sure, at the end of the game, possibly to more efforts at goal, maybe even more corners, maybe even more territorial advantage. But at the end of the day, it's the finish that counts in football. That is the only thing that counts.
There might even be a fifth here. Hughes comes forward, taking on Johnson. He's got McClare breaking down the right side, but he doesn't pick out the Scot. He holds on to the ball. Finally is taken away from him, and carrying clears. And the referee puts his whistle to his mouth, and that's the end of a dramatic second half in this 113th FA Cup final. Salute Manchester United. Salute Alex Ferguson. His team, the outstanding side of the season. No question of that. And they finished it in outstanding style, winning this cup by 4 goals to 0.
Well, it's very difficult, really, to see how Chelsea can find some consolation. 4-0 is as decisive a score as you could possibly receive in an FA Cup final. It's been a little bit cruel for them, but United, as all season...